This place is...
Fatal Frame 3 The Tormented was released on July 28, 2005 in Japan, November 28, 2005 in North America, and February 24, 2005 in Europe. The game was re-released digitally on the PS3 on October 1st, 2013 as a PS2 classic. As usual, we'll be covering the plot first. Skip to this point in the video to avoid spoilers. Our plot begins with freelance photographer Rei Kurosawa taking pictures of a supposedly haunted house with her assistant, Miku Hinazuki, the protagonist of the first game.
I heard this house was haunted. Too bad it's not.
Anyone who says that in a ghost story deserves to be haunted. While photographing the house, Rei sees what seems to be ghosts of her recently deceased husband, and thus the dreams begin. Every night Rei has dreams of being in a strange manor, the Manor of Sleep. While exploring the manor, she comes across the ever-familiar Camera Obscura, which is lucky for her because she soon comes across some hostile ghosts. As she goes further into the manor, she soon gets attacked by this ghost. This is the Tattoo Priestess. The Tattoo Priestess is a maiden who sacrificed in a ritual to keep the rift sealed. How many world-ending entities exist in this world? With how many there are and the ones we've seen fail, I'm surprised that Japan isn't infested with ghosts. Anyway, the Tattooed Priestess ritual works like this. The priestess's body is covered in tattoos. She is then taken to the Chamber of Thorns, where 4 handmaidens stick stakes into her limbs. This particular tattooed priestess' name was Reika Kuze. As Rei travels further into the Manor of Sleep, she learns that her assistant, Miku, has been having the same dreams. Her control switches over to Miku and Yes, Miku's dreams are of the Himuro Mansion. Doesn't take too long to find out that this is just part of the Manor of Sleep, but the revisit of the Fatal Frame 1 areas is effective nonetheless. Rei is also receiving letters from her husband's friend, Kei Akamura, the uncle of Miu and Mayu from Fatal Frame 2. From its letters, it's clear that Mio is going through the same dreams as Rei and Miku. Kei himself also begins to experience the same dreams. From the characters we know are experiencing the dreams and the ghosts that you encounter throughout the game, it becomes clear to the player who experiences the dreams. People who are attached to a dead loved one get haunted by the dreams and eventually die for them. Rei is attached to her dead husband, Miku is attached to Mafuyu, Mio is attached to Mayu, and Kei is attached to Screw You, Curse, I'm Saving My Niece. As Miku gets further into the mansion, she sees the ghost of Mafuyu and is overcome with the guilt of leaving him behind and chases after him. Gee, I hope that Maiden of Black Water doesn't do anything stupid with this plot point. This puts Miku into a coma. Kei and Rei meet up, and Rei informs Kei about her husband's death. Kei was a friend of his. Kei makes it to the bottom of the Manor of Sleep. He thought the reason the rift was unleashed was because the Tattoo Priestess raid-in ritual failed because the priestess wasn't impaled properly. However, this wasn't the case. The priestess was impaled properly, so why was the rift unleashed if the ritual was successful? Well, Kei gets incapacitated before he can find out. Rei gets to the bottom of the manor and finds out why the ritual failed. The tattooed priestess, Reika, was in love with a man named Kaname. After she was impaled, Kaname snuck into the Chamber of Thorns to see her. He was then killed by the person in charge of the tattoo ritual, right in front of Reika. This sent Reika into an uproar, unleashing the rift. So, a girl chosen to be sacrificed fell in love with a man, and the murder of that man caused a ritual holding back a destructive force to fail. Yep, Reika's story is almost identical to Kirie's from the first game. Rei is able to put Reika at peace with the use of her camera. She puts Reika and Kaname's bodies into a boat and they are able to rest in peace. The souls of the dead all leave to the other side. Rei is able to say goodbye one last time to her husband and the curse is cured. Miku and Kei wake from their comas, and through a picture in the credits, we know that Mio also survived. And that was Fatal Frame 3's plot. It was okay. The first 3 Fatal Frame games, I'd say its plot is weakest. Fatal Frame 1's plot was good, cheesy, classic survival horror plot that didn't take many risks, but was perfectly salvageable and plenty playable. Fatal Frame 2's plot was fantastic and has taken its place in the history of niche horror games. Fatal Frame 3, well, it's the most forgettable of the bunch. Many of its plot points are either continuations to the previous two games or very similar to the other two. Now that plot is out of the way, let's get into the gameplay. The camera in Fatal Frame 3 doesn't have any major changes to how it worked in previous games. It uses the Fatal Frame 1 system of charging your shots by keeping it pointed at ghosts as long as you can. Spirit stones have been completely removed. Instead, the Fatal Frame 1 camera system is in place. Now, while the camera's basic functions haven't changed at all, there are some special abilities worth talking about. Now, if you listen to the plot summary, you may have noticed that there are 3 playable characters. All 3 of these characters have their own camera and their own unique abilities. Ray has a flash to her camera that allows her to stun ghosts. I completely forget this exists and forgot to get footage of it for the review. Kay has the most useless ability. He can hide. This is used a grand total of 2 times. One of those times is completely automated. Now, Miku on the other hand has the most useful abilities. She can slow down time, making 0 shots in Fatal Frames easy. She can also double the charge of her shot by holding down X. Miku's been through a lot, she deserves to be overpowered. Each of the 3 playable characters has their own camera that needs to be upgraded. There is no way you can get enough points to upgrade everyone's camera's basic functions on your first playthrough. Heck, maybe not even your second playthrough. I recommend upgrading Ray's your first playthrough and focusing on either Kay's or Miku's in your second. There is one negative change to the camera in Fatal Frame 3. The camera is now on the triangle button, after 2 games of the camera being on circle. This makes it extremely hard to play Fatal Frame 3 right after the first 2. Other than that, the camera in Fatal Frame 3 works the best out of the original trilogy. Alright, now that camera's out of the way, let's cover a major aspect of all Fatal Frame games, the puzzles. Now, if I may be bold, I don't think this series does puzzles well. They are either so short and simple like this Kagome puzzle from Fatal Frame 1, or the Choking Doll puzzle from Fatal Frame 2, or they are complex and hard to get a feel for, like these puzzles from Fatal Frame 1 that I hereby dub clock puzzles. See, they give you keywords and 13 buttons to press. Which buttons do you press? Well, read the journals you find and you'll see the numbers you have to press. The problem is, the numbers on the buttons are in Japanese. Thankfully, they are arranged like a counterclockwise clock, but good luck figuring that out on your first playthrough. One thing this series loves is slide puzzles. There are some in Fatal Frame 1, 2 types in Fatal Frame 2, a doll type and a windmill type. Fatal Frame 3 includes both the Fatal Frame 1 side puzzle and the Fatal Frame 2 windmill side puzzle, plus its own variety of side puzzle. Fatal Frame 1 and 3 also include some arrangement puzzles, where you have to gather items, mass and ropes in Fatal Frame 1's case, orbs and stakes in Fatal Frame 3's case. Once gathered, you simply need to either place them in the right place or arrange them in the right order. And that's the puzzles of the original 3 Fatal Frame games. Like I said, I was disappointed with the puzzles in the series, but they are still passable. Now, I promised in my Fatal Frame 1 review I would give my thoughts on all 3 of the original 3 Fatal Frame games at the end of my Fatal Frame 3 review. So here we go. Fatal Frame 1 is basic, clunky, and clumsy, both in story and gameplay. It's forgivable because it's the first game, but there are plenty of better survival horror games out there. Fatal Frame 2 is the most well-known game in the series, and for good reason. It's fantastic and easily my favorite horror game of all time. Fatal Frame 3 is also great with the best camera controls out of the first 3 games, but it just doesn't reach Fatal Frame 2 in terms of story and atmosphere. And that was the original Fatal Frame Trilogy. I love these games and I recommend that you all play them. I'm Skeith and I'll see you next week with another review, so remember to subscribe to know when that comes up.